The roar rolling through Gainbridge Fieldhouse tonight isn't ordinary crowd noise. It's a pressure wave announcing that women's basketball just got a new orbit. 1 year ago, plenty of sports bars still ran silent when the WNBA came on. Now, you can't even hear the bartender when 22 pulls up from the parking lot logo. Caitlin Clark hasn't merely joined the league. She's bending it around herself in real time, and the rest of us are just trying not to miss the sparks. Long before the fever stitched her name across the chest, Clark was stacking box scores in ways college hoops had never charted. She torched record after record until statisticians stopped bothering with qualifiers like men's or women's. When that final 39-footer ripped the net in March, it didn't just crown her the all-time Division I scoring monarch, it signaled that the definition of shooting range itself had officially changed. By the time Iowa's storybook season faded to black, analysts were already calling her the best long-distance weapon since, well, nobody knew, because nobody had done it from that far, that often, with that swagger. One scout summed it up in 6 words: if Steph were 6 foot, female. Draft night should have been a formality, but it felt more like a pop culture lightning strike. Indiana announced her at number 1. The crowd inside Brooklyn's Spring Studios threw confetti before the commissioner finished her sentence, and ESPN's ticker started spitting out numbers that looked like NBA contracts. Then, Nike executed the fastest swoop in sneaker history. 8 years, $28 million, a signature shoe line promise before her rookie salary hit direct deposit. That single leak crashed the brand's women's basketball landing page for 3 straight hours. Twitter pundits grilled the wage gap, collectors set calendar reminders, and somewhere deep inside Beaverton, the marketing team stuck a digital post-it that simply read, "She's our Jordan moment. Don't blow it." Training camp arrived with cameras stacked 3 tripods deep, yet Clark cut through the circus like a grad assistant with a clipboard. She logged the earliest bus, snagged the last jumper, and still found time to high-five every kid lining the tunnel. By the first preseason scrimmage, teammates were describing passes they'd never even imagined were open. "Half the time I don't see the lane," all-star forward Aaliyah Boston admitted, "then the ball's already in my hands." Coaches rewound film, froze the frame, and tried to trace how a rookie spotted a 2-inch gap on the weak side baseline in real time. Opening night felt more like a festival than a game. Ticket resale sites doubled their fees. Local media set up mobile studios in the parking lot. And inside, a floor-level decibel meter flirted with 110 as Drake showed up in a courtside hoodie that read, "Logo Range." The first play out of the gate was vintage Clark. High screen, crossover, a millisecond of daylight, and bang, a 29-foot rainbow that barely rippled nylon. 3 possessions later, she dribbled into a double team, flipped a behind-the-back bounce dime through a maze of limbs, and drew a standing ovation during a live set. Twitter's real-time analytics flagged the clip at 1.8 million views in the first 20 minutes. The WNBA had never seen anything even close. The high didn't dip. It spread like wildfire. Connecticut sold out in 48 hours. Chicago lifted upper deck tarps for the first time in 6 years. Las Vegas added SRO lines at Mandalay Bay for a Wednesday game. By week 3, league economists published an eyebrow-raising memo. Overall attendance up 118% year over year, average ticket price up 62%, total merchandise revenue on pace to eclipse $1 billion by season's end if mid-summer momentum held. That number used to be pipe dream territory. Now it read like a mid-range projection. But every meteoric rise paints an equally bright bullseye. Veteran guards started greeting the rookie with friendly forearms on curls and a little extra hip on baseline cuts. The message was clear: welcome to the big league. Prove you belong. The spark turned into a 4-alarm fire when Chicago's Angel Reese delivered a heavy second-half challenge broadcast coast to coast. Clark spun off the contact, banked an and one off glass, and Reese ended up whistled for the flagrant. Overnight, social feeds morphed into a 48-hour debate club. Was Angel too rough? Does Caitlyn get superstar calls? Is the league protecting its cash cow? The only consensus was that everyone, haters and diehards alike, would now tune in for the next episode. Clark didn't flinch, she detonated. 11 games in, she logged the earliest rookie triple-double in 2 decades, dropping 20-10-10 with 4 blocks and a plus 29 plus-minus that left Seattle's coaching staff shaking their heads. She cut her turnover rate nearly in half by mid-June, started baiting defenders into overhelping with no-look fakes, and discovered she could punish soft hedges by simply waiting an extra heartbeat before accelerating. By July 1st, her per-game line sat at 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and a league-best 48% clip on threes launched from 28-plus feet. Veterans huddled around iPads begging for answers. There weren't many. Yet for every stat sheet masterpiece, the physical toll crept higher. Fever trainers taped a new ice pack every quarter, teammates nudged refs about the after-the-whistle shoves, and talk show hosts wondered aloud whether the league might blunt its own golden goose. Clark handled it the only way she knows: sprint back on D, take an elbow, smile, then drill a transition 3 from the adjacent zip code. Make or miss, she jogged back clapping, firing up vets 15 years deep into pay all my dues fatigue. Longtime WNBA analyst LaChina Robinson summarized it best. She's a magnet for contact and for eyeballs. Until the league figures out how to protect one without killing the other, this friction is baked into every tip-off. Meanwhile, the business orbit ballooned like a runaway weather balloon. Pop-up merch trucks in Indy sold out before noon. Secondary marketeers flipped first edition Clark sneakers for 4 figures. TikTok montages of her step-backs uppulled Steph Curry playoff clips in 3 of the first 4 weeks of May. A leaked 15-second teaser of her still unnamed Nike SIG shoe, graphite upper, swirling holographic fade, generated 50 million impressions before any journalist confirmed the colorway. Kids in gym class tried Clark range shots on 8-foot rims, dropping jaws and occasionally ceiling tiles. With headlines multiplying, the WNBA front office seized the spotlight. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert stood at mid-court in Phoenix on July 17th and announced a 3-team expansion: Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia, arriving within 5 seasons. The subtext wasn't subtle. Growth windows this large slam shut if you hesitate. When a reporter asked whether Clark's popularity sparked the acceleration, Engelbert laughed. Let's just say, ticket demand loves company. Translation: we're surfing the wave she's kicking up, and we don't plan to wipe out. All that applause, though, came packaged with fresh scrutiny. Online conspiracies popped like kettle corn. Clark never gets called for travels. The league changed a ball for her. TV producers pump crowd noise when she hits. She didn't clap back, she just kept dropping dimes. In a primetime ABC slot against Las Vegas, Clark threaded a no-look nutmeg between Kaya Stokes' knees that spun into a Boston lay-in, so clean, the crew inside the truck needed 3 angles to confirm it wasn't CGI. Twitter's slow-motion breakdown drew 1 million plays by sunrise. Half applauding, half insisting the ball size must have been different. The rookie's post-game quote: "I'll take any positive energy, cheers, boos, online conspiracies, they all count as views." Then came the midsummer slump. Every first-year player dreads. 4 games in 6 nights, 2 red-eyes, ankles barking louder than sneakers squeak. Clark shot 5 for 28 from deep across the stretch. Commenters sharpened knives. Told you she was just hype, but call it stubbornness or call it pedigree, she refused to lose authority. She pivoted into facilitator mode, dropping 14 assists on Dallas, 16 2 nights later on Atlanta. Her gravity yanked the paint open for role players who suddenly looked like all-league slashers. The Fever scraped out 3 wins in that brutal span, and the slump talk vanished as quickly as it surfaced. By the All-Star break, she ranked first among guards in fan voting, 3rd overall behind Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart. an online petition demanding she start drew 200K signatures in 24 hours. The head coaches never needed to read it. They'd already penciled her in. During warm-ups, she hammered 3 straight half-court knuckleballs just to test the backboard stanchion. The broadcast crew lost its collective mind. The camera zoomed close enough to catch her grin as the final shot kissed glass and dropped, in a game billed as Stars versus Olympians. She went 7 of 11 from downtown, racked 18 points in 14 minutes, and lobbed a self-bounce to herself off the backboard that belonged on an And One mixtape. When she left to rest, the sellout crowd booed, politely but still. Beyond the hardwood, Hollywood's antennae twitched. 2 streaming giants bid on a docu-series tracking Clark's rookie journey, splicing game footage with locker room scenes and those late-night ice tub reflections, where doubt sometimes sneaks in. Clark shrugged, as long as they schedule cameras after practice film. Rumor has it, she negotiated Final Cut approval, a perk usually reserved for Grammy winners, not rookies in year 1. But she understands narrative, maybe better than anyone since Kobe. Let them roll tape. She'll supply the plot twists, and there will be plenty. A 12-team league will soon be 15, then 18, and each new market means longer road trips, heavier minutes, and defenders studying every flick of her wrist in 4K slow-mo. She'll battle the same rookie to second-year wall that humbled legends before her. She'll take hits that make last year's college bruises feel like pillow fights. And the larger the spotlight, the shorter the leash for any misquote. But if Act 1 taught us anything, it's that she treats every obstacle like a personal invitation to improvise. Ask veteran point guard Erica Wheeler what's different in Indy this summer, and she'll point at practice court 3. Look there, she says, gesturing to the freshly repainted 4-point arc trainers sketched one afternoon at Clark's request. She needed a visual for logo range, so management gave her one. Nobody blinked. Leadership seldom arrives gift-wrapped. Sometimes it slyly orders a line repaint and tells your franchise, dream bigger. Where does it all lead? Maybe to that $1 billion revenue milestone forecasters now deem conservative. Maybe to 2030 rec league intros where teenage girls introduce themselves by stepping behind a taped-off logo and firing away. Maybe to a day when WNBA season openers occupy the same prime-time slots as the NBA's. Maybe even to a 2028 Olympic final where Clark, Wilson, and Stewart form the nastiest hoops trident on Earth. The path isn't pre-written, but the engine driving it is already speeding. One truth remains: Caitlin Clark isn't tomorrow's headline. She's today's front page, above the fold, printed in the boldest font the presses can crank out. Every pull-up 3 ricochets through highlight feeds. Every no-look dime spawns 1,000 TikToks. Every bruise she shrugs off becomes proof that greatness rarely arrives bubble-wrapped. If you love the sport, buckle up. If you doubt her, double-check the scoreboard. And if you're merely curious, keep watching, because that next rainbow jumper might not just win a game. It might rewrite attendance records, spark another expansion team, or inspire a kid half a world away to lower the driveway hoop and shout range as the ball arcs toward possibility. So grab your popcorn, mute the trolls, and set your notifications to all. This revolution is live, unscripted, and broadcast in high definition every time number 22 crosses half court. And remember, if you blink, you'll still hear the crowd. But you'll miss the moment the future of basketball landed in the present and decided to stay a while.